Hey guys, it's Samy Bee and Cicely, and today we're going to be doing a new mechanic series, which is working on this. I don't even know what it is. What is it, Mr. Mechanic?
2012 Acura MDX with a 3.7 V6.
That's what we're working on. So what happened was the engine light came on, and it was just running like shit, I guess, right? Yeah.
That's right.
So
Engine's running rough, and currently cylinder 1 has a misfire, and that's what we got left with.
So we're gonna dive on in. This is the vehicle. And we are starting with a compression test. Why are we starting there?
Well, because another shop suspects there's an issue with the valve train. So we're gonna see if they're right or if they're not right. So
let's begin.
Go from there.
All right, so where are we starting?
Removing the engine cover first, because it might make things a little easier to see and access. Voila.
That was easy. Holy
First
moly.
step, and probably the last step right there. Cylinder 1 is back here, so this will be 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, and 6, because Acura decided to copy Ford, and that's their number layout. First of all, we're going to get down to the spark plugs, and those are going to be fun. So might as well unplug the ignition coils first. One plug in. And there should be another one somewhere back here. Oh, there's plug-in number 2. And there's number 3. And I'll just connect the other ones here. There's number 6. Oh man, these can be fun. There's another one. Should have a pick for these things. There. Now they're all disconnected. Now it won't start. Pulling off the ignition coil. Let's see if there's anything wrong with it. Pretty important little nut there. There we go. Inspect the coil. Got a little bit of rust, means water's got in there.
Is that normal?
Yeah. Just old, but it still works. Now we get down to the spark plug.
So now we're pulling out the spark plugs.
If I can get down on it. There it is. I got it on there. We got lucky. That's alright. This might be a little tricky to do, actually. Here's the spark plug. So, got a lot of debris on there. Wet from gas. Probably oil too, it looks like. So, not a good sign to start off.
What if there's water? Can you tell?
Usually if it's rusty. No, just some carbon tracing. Means it's failing in between the threads here and not sealing, so it's starting to come up through to the porcelain. So, could get changed eventually, but go from there, I suppose.
Okay, so now we are hooking up the compression tester to that cylinder 1, where we pulled out everything.
Let me know if I got the right size for this thing.
So how come you had to unconnect all of the ignition coils?
I do it so it doesn't start. It won't put a bit of fuel in the cylinders, but it won't fire. I don't want it to fire because I need to see. Okay, try this again here. There, that's better. Let me hook up this gauge. We should see what we get for a rough number. Make sure it's clipped in. All right, here goes nothing. Let's check our reading.
That's what you do?
Yep. And we have no compression. Did it get any higher than that?
Nope.
So that means that cylinder's dead. So we're gonna have to dig in a little bit more deeper. Whole whopping 29 psi according to that gauge. Okay, well that sums up that quick test. A little 10mm nut that sits on a stud that holds the ignition coil down, and then sometimes they can be pain in the ass to get out. They just pop out, and then that's it. That's all they look like. Again, same thing, water in this one. Check the connectors, make sure there's no corrosion or bent pins. Keep them all together and so on. And away you go. We'll show you cylinder number 2, so we have a reference to go off of roughly. This one might be a little easier to do. A lot easier to do. These engines are pretty simple to work on, so just pop that out. It should be out almost here. See, cylinders 2. Got some carbon tracing again. A little bit of oily on that one. Nothing too crazy. So, when we move our cylinder over, depressurize the gauge back to 0. Unplug the connector here. And take this one out. I'm just going to make sure that these are tight because you don't want to lose the adapters in there because it's kind of a pain to get out. And we'll go to cylinder number 2. And this one should be around at least 125, 130 psi for a decent. Usually higher is better. 150, 160 is good. Same thing, hook up the gauge. And crank it over for about 5 seconds. This one should be at least 140. Yeah, so it's a little weak, about 125, 130, well 132 psi. So that cylinder is going to be working fine, versus the other one that has 30 psi means it's basically dead. So depressurize that, take it off, and you have a rough number to go off of. I'll probably check the last cylinder so I know, because I'm only going to be pulling off this cylinder head because it only has the issue on this bank, on bank 1. So take that out. So that'll be cylinder 2. And then we'll go to cylinder 3. This one might be a little bit more tricky to get into. Pull off the coil. Can't really see what you're doing, but if you know where things are, usually it's not too hard to work on. Might have to pull the windshield cowl off to get the head off too. Just is not a big deal. So, let's see if we can get this out of here. Oh, this one's again some rust in there. Pins look alright. And the fun part is to see if we can get tools in there. So here's our cylinder 3 spark plug. Again, same kind of carbon tracing starting on there, a little bit wet. Not the best, a little worn out actually. So that's 3 for 3. And then go back to our trusty old compression tester here. Click, and I'll just let that sit there. And I guess you can kind of see it from there. So I'd say it's a valve issue, but we'll have to pull it apart and verify. We could do a leak down test, but either way we got to pull it apart to see what it is. So I'm sure it's a valve issue by the sounds of the exhaust note it was making. Yeah, so away we go. Gonna get the valve cover, upper intake manifold, and the air box off. That's about it.
All right, let's begin.
All right. so seized on there that you need to get a socket that sits in here to hold it.
Oh.
And then you gotta, yeah, that's one of the hardest bolts to get off. There, has a dampener, and so on. Yeah, it broke. Let's just put shit in the way. It will. Like, that's the shit they designed because they're fucking idiots. Those square things. Fucking. Why is there so much like oil and grease? Like, what's wrong with this fucking thing? It's a camshaft sprocket. That's just the backing for the timing cover. suspecting broken valves on the exhaust side in cylinder 1. See if I'm right. Probably not, but we'll see.
Were you right?
I was right.
How did that happen?
You have to adjust the valves. There's a special procedure to do it. They sound a little normal, but it's what you're up.
At this point, I have no footage of putting it back together because we were fed up, tired, and it was snowy, rainy, and exhausting. But here is a clip of the car starting and everything ran really well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next engine repair. I mean, mechanic video. It's happening!
Oh, I'm gonna put 3 into it too. He needs water.